Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
Well said.
The motives stink worse than Joy Behar's jog bra. I mean, assuming she jogs. Oh, wait, there she is.
She has a point. Maybe I am obsessed, but some people are obsessed with Bigfoot, and they don't get to see him on TV every afternoon. And if they did, could they tell the two apart? I don't know.
Greg Gutfeld, widely recognized for his sharp wit and fast comebacks, may have just delivered one of his most direct responses yet. This time, rather than relying on light humor, he offered a more deliberate and structured reply addressing comments made on The View, particularly by co-host Joy Behar. Over the years, Gutfeld has expressed concerns about what he views as imbalanced discussions, selective criticism, and heightened political framing on daytime television panels. From her perspective, Behar has often downplayed his commentary, implying it does not merit extended debate. The situation intensified after The View aired a segment examining conservative media platforms, including Fox News. During that discussion, Behar referenced Gutfeld personally, raising questions about his judgment and public persona, which further fueled the ongoing exchange between the two sides.
Joy Behar accused Elon Musk of being pro-apartheid, but then begged him afterwards not to sue. Musk lawyers have yet to comment because they're still checking to see if it's legal to sue a cow.
Shots fired.
It's a legal question. I don't know why it's so upsetting. I don't make the rules in this country.
The response followed swiftly. Within hours, Gutfeld addressed the situation on his own program, offering a detailed rebuttal to the points raised about him. He questioned the accuracy of the claims, pointed to what he described as inconsistencies in the panel's reasoning, and suggested that the show applies different standards depending on who is being discussed. His tone remained composed, but the message was firm. Instead of escalating the rhetoric, he relied on dry humor and selectively presented examples to reinforce his perspective. Clips from the segment quickly circulated across social media platforms, transforming the exchange into one of the most widely talked about media moments of the year.
The feral monsters of The View say they've never heard of you-know-who. True, the show that makes mornings hell claim that my name doesn't ring a bell. It's time for...
Our view on The View. Ugh.
Yeah, the witch's coven finally shows me some lovin'. Yesterday on The View, yours truly was the subject of conversation. Apparently the broads have no idea who I am, or so they say.
Supporters highlighted his restraint in preparation, while critics questioned whether the exchange reflected a broader divide in televised political commentary. The larger issue now centers on whether Behar anticipated such a pointed response, or if the moment underscored how challenging it can be for established media platforms to navigate criticism when scrutiny shifts toward them. For years, Joy Behar had dismissed Greg Gutfeld's views as unserious and unworthy of extended discussion. This time, however, the tone appeared noticeably sharper and more direct. Tensions intensified after The View aired a segment critical of Fox News and other conservative outlets, characterizing their influence as politically consequential.
It's not even that. In The View, you don't need to find Trumpers. You need to fire your race baiters.
Yeah.
You need to fire the two races. You've had people. You had a McCain on there. You've had people on there before, and you ran them off. Mm-hmm. So the racist ones who want to stick to this, Whoopi and Sonny, and the, was it Bette Midler?
Yes, Joy.
The broke-ass Bette Midler. Fire them and bring people in. Maybe you could get McCain to come back. She was a Republican, but every show and every break.
Rather than keeping the discussion broad, Behar directed her comments squarely at Gutfeld, openly questioning his judgment and making sarcastic remarks about his program. That moment marked a clear shift. When Gutfeld responded on his own show, he did not raise his voice or escalate the tone. He remained measured. Instead of engaging in personal attacks, he leaned on his familiar style of dry humor and structured commentary to challenge the assertions made about him. He played segments from The View that he suggested illustrated inconsistent standards, arguing that a panel presenting itself as open to debate can sometimes appear dismissive of perspectives it disagrees with. He concluded with a pointed observation, suggesting that while the hosts often describe themselves as advocates for women, they are sometimes critical of women who express different political viewpoints.
That Gutfeld talks about you all the time.
Who is he?
I don't watch the show.
He hasn't
I don't watch the
never
show.
heard of him.
Yeah.
I guess he's just obsessed with him.
Next, Joy's gonna say she's never heard of carbs. Seriously, her denial of knowing me is as believable as her red hair.
But obsession? I mean, come on, Joy. Where would you even get that idea? Like Joy Behar's face, it's looking worse and worse by the day. More full of crap than Joy Behar after a night of scotch and Taco Bell. Her being named Joy is like me being named ugly. Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her days off when she feeds in the pasture. It now smells like a humid day inside Joy Behar's
He went on to suggest that the program can sometimes come across as a setting where influential voices frame themselves as unfairly targeted. The remark prompted noticeable laughter from his studio audience. Reports circulating afterward indicated that Behar was displeased with the segment and had considered addressing it directly on air, a sign that the exchange had drawn significant attention as clips quickly moved across social media platforms. The dispute soon evolved into one of the most widely discussed media moments, with viewers from different political perspectives weighing in on the exchange. The next morning, Behar and her fellow hosts on The View appeared to minimize the situation with lighthearted comments. They described Gutfeld as simply a television comedian, yet that attempt to downplay the exchange seemed only to intensify the broader conversation surrounding it.
No, this is what elitists do who can't, like, if you don't know who someone is, how did you know to automatically hate him?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, that's how fake and full of she is. Gutfeld, never heard of him. Don't like him. Why? Because why? That's why I just turned to one of my kids. Because why?
Yeah.
Because I don't know who he is. Never heard of him at all in my entire life. So why? Because I don't know. Because they are the last TV show to talk about high turnover.
Mm-hmm.
We've been rolling 3 steady for a long time.
Yeah.
We don't take breaks in the commercial to get away from each other. Well, that's what the drinking's for.
Yes.
Megan McCain, how'd that go?
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell, or any of these previous fellow employees? Because one of the things they said was that no one walks away from money. Right?
Yeah.
So they got people running away from money.
Rather than easing tensions, the appearance appeared to intensify the discussion. For some critics, it reinforced the perception that The View is comfortable directing criticism outward but less at ease when attention shifts toward the panel itself. To certain viewers, Behar's reaction felt less like a detailed rebuttal and more like a brief dismissal, something audiences quickly picked up on. Questions began circulating, particularly from longtime followers, about whether she was fully addressing the concerns raised or simply moving past them. Within hours, YouTube clips, posts on X, and active threads across political forums were filled with debate. Supporters of Gutfeld's described his response as a notable media moment, while several conservative commentators suggested that when The View becomes the focus of scrutiny, discussions about accountability tend to shift in tone.
Is that you have to go after the racist people, and if be the CEO goes, you know what, I'm not going to allow a woman on my show or man that will go after white America and talk about them like dogs. That doesn't represent our ideals or values for anyone. And get rid of those people, and this will clear up real quick. So do you have to actually look in the mirror and clean up your own backyard and get the racist people out? Because that's who you allowed in. You allowed black racists on TV who could just go all day and say anything about white people. And I guess lo and behold, they forgot that there's a lot of people at home, white people at home during the day that are not watching your show anymore. So just clean it up.
Behar's supporters countered by saying she was under no obligation to engage with a commentator whose approach relies heavily on satire and pointed humor. Even so, online engagement reflected a noticeable imbalance. Gutfeld's segments drew millions of views and sustained discussion across multiple platforms. By contrast, The View's response generated comparatively less traction. Some viewers even suggested the possibility of a live televised debate, an option Behar may not feel inclined to pursue. Regardless of personal opinion, Gutfeld has become one of the most widely discussed figures in television commentary, and this recent exchange further highlighted his ability to convert controversy into expanded visibility. Public disputes often align with his on-air strengths, placing The View in a strategic position, respond and potentially broaden his reach, or remain measured and risk appearing reluctant to engage. Behar has navigated public criticism before, but this moment may represent one of the more closely examined chapters in her media career.
About The View, it's become like a medical hospital that displays human misfailure. Like it's like here, let's look at this political oddity. You know, it's like it really is like the left-wing equivalent of a carnival sideshow, except instead of bearded ladies and fat clowns and two-headed cows, Well, let me rephrase that. But The View is a victim of the sunk cost fallacy. You know, how can you now speak the truth when for years you've been telling lie after lie after lie? Now you're carrying this big bag of rocks around you because it's too harmful for their ego to admit that we really were dishonest. And they could be honest. All they would have to say is, look, we hate Trump so much. We were willing to lie about Joe Biden because we felt he was preferable. We thought our lying and our cover-up was on your behalf. Just say that. You're still scum, but at least you're an honest scum.
Joy Behar is widely recognized for expressing firm opinions and rarely stepping away from debate. This time, however, the exchange appeared to place her in a more complicated position. If she chooses not to respond, critics may argue that she is avoiding direct scrutiny. If she answers forcefully, others could interpret it as an effort to quickly regain control of the narrative. Either approach carries its own risks, leaving little room for an easy resolution. Meanwhile, Greg Gutfeld seems to be expanding his reach. His audience continues to grow, and his program ranks among the higher-rated shows in its time slot. When he addresses prominent media figures with humor and structured commentary, supporters suggest that his visibility increases. He has developed a reputation for turning public disagreements into widely viewed segments, combining entertainment elements with pointed analysis in a format that keeps viewers consistently engaged.
Sure, all that, and the price of butter. Sonny gets the game ball. If it wasn't for her, asking that question, it might have been a closer election. But when oh no, nothing really comes to mind, I was like, ching. Listen, they're bitter, they're angry, they're entitled. They also should be. This should have been a reset for everyone who pushed lies and misinformation for the last. They call them Hitler, they call these things. America rejected them. And instead of coming back and saying, we lied, they instead are now doubling down. So let her keep doing it, because if she keeps that up, we're going to keep getting the Senate and probably the House and the White House, because people see right through.
The broader question now is whether this was simply an isolated television exchange or the beginning of a longer-running tension between Gutfeld and The View. The moment also draws attention to a larger conversation about media dynamics. Public confidence in major outlets is often debated, and episodes like this illustrate how quickly narratives can evolve once clips circulate widely. Viewers are left weighing different interpretations. Did Gutfeld effectively highlight what he considers inconsistencies, or was this another example of spirited television commentary? Did Behar handle the moment strategically, or could her response have been more measured? One point remains certain: the discussion is ongoing. If you've been following the developments, share your perspective, and stay tuned for continued updates and analysis as the conversation unfolds.